heaven knows I've been working hard.
Good evening. It's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it's Make It Monday. I'm so excited that you're here. I hope that you will stay tuned because I have 4 fabulous projects to show you. These are our June class projects. So there's several folds, lots of techniques, all kinds of goodness that I have for you tonight. So share with a friend if you're on Facebook, if you're seeing me live or recorded. Actually, you're not seeing me live. This is a recorded version because it's a class night. So still give me a comment. I really appreciate those. They keep me going. If I can't see that you're watching if you don't say something. Thumbs ups are great, but I love your comments. Even if you don't like it, say, I don't like this. No, not really. That's okay. If you have a preference, absolutely. Sometimes I ask what you like better. So, and I'm happy if you give me suggestions of things that you would like to see. I would love to provide projects that you are interested in. And so, yeah, I would appreciate if you leave a comment. If you're watching this on YouTube, I would appreciate if you would leave a comment there. That would be fabulous. But also, you might want to subscribe so that you don't miss any of the videos that I try to do one every Monday. They don't always get transferred over immediately from Facebook, but I try to get them all over so that you can see the same content there. So, all right, without further ado, let me just mention really quick that this month we have our Creative Stamping Collective has a fabulous compilation of ideas for you, of tutorials made with the Lily of the Valley bundle suite. So I think that is wrong. Hold on one second. Let me fix that because, okay, this is the correct one. Relaxing Waterside is our June project. Lily of the Valley was last month. It just caught my attention when I saw one of the projects, and I was like, wait a minute, that was last month. So this is June's Creative Stamping Collective tutorial that is available. It's either $15 as a purchase, or you can get it for free when you place an order over $60 in June. And hopefully you already earned yours during the free shipping last week. That was a pop-up special that was fabulous. So hopefully you caught up with some things that maybe you needed to stock up on, or some of our new stuff that you haven't done yet. All right, so hop over to one more thing. Our product of the month this month is this adorable little stamp set with all the little creatures. And this says, adorable critters meet soft watercolor inspired style for projects packed with character. How cute is that? So you can add that on to a $75 order for just $5. So that's the only way that you can get the product of the month is with a purchase of $75 or more. All right, so we are ready to pop over and see our first project. My first project today is using this Faraway Landscapes. Sometimes I show very involved cards, and I love doing those, but sometimes I need a very quick card. This one, I'm doing a little bit of coloring on it, but it definitely does not require coloring. It could be a very monochromatic card. And I'm using the one with the little deer in it because that's so cool. But there's also a beach scene and a farm scene. So very versatile, and I hope that you'll enjoy this card. I'm also using the dies from Sweet Words and Labels. I'm using the dies for the shape of the card here. And then I'm also using, I wanted this Get Well to do some Get Well cards. So that's what I'm using. And we're going to start with, the colors are Crumb Cake, Pecan Pie, and Mossy Meadow, along with this white. So we're going to stamp first and then emboss this piece with a retired, the wood plank, I believe it's called. You can use whatever embossing folder that you have. And I'm positioning this here. We're gonna try something while we're doing this video. See how this works. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. I'm gonna ink that up. And then, I actually can't do this the whole way across, so I might just stamp them separately. This stamp isn't quite long enough to go across a 4-inch piece, so we'll go ahead and just do this separately. That way I can get exactly what I want. And then I'll ink this twice. We'll get, I sort of want the deer to show over here, so I'll stamp that. And then we'll scoot over and we'll get some trees on this side. Because we'll have this in the center, you're not going to know that that's not a full piece. So we stamp that 3 times. While we have the ink open, let's go ahead and stamp our greeting. And I'm just doing tone on tone. You can emboss this if you want it to be extra effective. But I think tone on tone works very well too. You can see that real well. Let me just close this because we are finished with the ink. And we're going to do a little bit of coloring. Like I said, I'm going to use my blends. I'm using Light Pool Party, Light Gray Granite, and Light Mossy Meadow. And I'm coloring in the water here. This is a little river coming down through here. And I'm just sort of like splotchily coloring it so that it doesn't have to be perfect. And especially for the sky, I'm just going to color around the clouds. And if I zoom in here, maybe you can see. I really want you to be able to see that I'm not completely coloring everything. I'm going to color above the clouds. And I'm sort of creating more clouds as I'm doing this. Just by randomly coloring like that. And then we're going to use, actually, I have light gray granite, but I'm pretty sure that's not the color I used. I think I used light crumb cake, but that's not what I have in here. So we're going to use this. Actually, it does. That's weird. This is, let me look. Oh, it is light crumb cake. I'm sorry. The cap looked like gray granite. And I'm just coloring in this field area here. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of Mossy Meadow and color in these trees to make them more so, and the bushes here. Okay, that's all we're doing. Then we're going to layer that on this piece. If you look at my sample, I actually layered it. I cut. Let me show you here. I'm going to put this on first. So I cut both of these dies, this one and this one, on a piece of crumb cake and did a frame. But that's absolutely not necessary. And actually what I did was I cut both of them on white and I just colored that little piece with my blends to look like crumb cake. But we're doing it a little bit easier here, just putting a whole piece on there. And it's going to stand up nicely because we're going to put some dimensionals on here. And because this is a big piece, do not judge me for using too many dimensionals. Because if you get my card, it's not going to be squishing down in the center. And you're going to be happy about that. All right, we'll get the things off the top. All right, I'm not ready for that yet. excuse me, we need to emboss this. So I'm going to put it in here. We're going to run it through the embossing folder. And there it is. Isn't that pretty with a design on it? All right, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to punch this piece. And I actually, I think I have it too long, but it's better to be too long than too short. So I'm going to just do 2 punches in here. And then we'll see if we like that. That's pretty good. I think that's okay. So the 2 punches helped with that. And then we'll go ahead and stick that on. Excuse me. Yeah. I just made myself a homemade frappe, and I seem to be having a frog in my throat. All right, I have a piece of linen thread, and I'm not sure. It's about, let's see, what is this paper? 16. It's about 20 inches or so. And we're just going to wrap that around here twice. And then we'll tie it right here so that it's to the side of where we're putting our little raised centerpiece. Okay, let me just trim that up a bit. That's just about the right length, so that was good. All right, now we're ready to put this in place. Maybe not upside down. And I sort of want it to match up with either side here. So I might have stamped that just a little bit too low, but it's good I left this fairly long. And now we'll go ahead and, I am using Seal Plus, but because I'm using an embossed, I'm doing this on an embossed piece, and I don't want it to be sticking up in places, I'm going to go ahead and get the whole way around. And I did cut this at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored that at 5 1/2, so that in case you forget to put your ribbon around, your cord around before you put it on, you can always put it around the whole card. All right, and then I decided to grab the Dewdrop gems, which I don't think I've used yet in a video or a class, because I have these, they're nice and clear. They've got, this one is probably like a Secret Sea, doesn't say on here, Old Olive, but on the card, it goes really well with our Mossy Meadow. So we're just going to pop 2 of those on here, a large and a small. Oops, sorry, I forgot to turn them off. Okay, finishing this up. I just put 1 dimensional on my tag and some adhesive here so that, because this is popped up, I didn't want to pop it up twice. I'm just going to line it up with the edge of my card here and stick that down. And there we go. I know that's up close and personal, isn't it? That way you can see it. All right, let's get to the next one. Okay, the next card that we're going to do is this beautiful pop-up card, and I can't remember. I'll put it on here, who I can credit this to, because I did see this idea online, and it's a great little pop-up here. Okay, so we are using our new Hydrangea U cardstock and ink. We're also using crumb cake for this card as well. So first of all, I am using our Stylish Shapes to cut out this this center and this piece, and also I cut out a white circle, and I cut out this die right here, and then I just cut it in a circle because it's going to go across here, so that it looks, so that it's also stitched on the edge. So a lot of die cutting on this card. I love this Rolling Wave set, and I think that you guys have seen it and enjoy it as well. This is not a tricky card, but because we're doing multiples of these, and my friend cut these circles out for me, and they're not all at the same height as you can see here. So I chose one that was really low so that I could revamp it so that if you get a low one in your class, you'll know what to do with it. So we are going to, I think what I'm going to do for this inside little piece that goes here to hold that center, I'm going to measure that. Let me grab my, so it's about 1.5, but not quite. So I'm going to make it 1 1.25. So what we're going to do then is we're going to take a strip, and I haven't made this strip any particular length. I just want it long enough. So I just have a scrap. It's 1 inch wide, and we're going to score at every 1 1/4 for so that we have 4 sections. So 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, and then 5. If I did my math correctly, that should give me 4 sections there. Okay, so what we're going to do, we could just, you could actually cut this on the last one. Or if you like to make a full piece, you could add 1/4 inch and glue it together. But I did not do that. I usually, because you're already gluing it down, so you don't really need that extra bulk in there. Okay, so we're going to just fold that. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this. We're going to glue this side. And we're going to stick this right in here, because I can stamp the front without that. Close that down. I wanted to make sure that my score line is above here, but we have a nice amount here. So if I had made this just the 1 inch like I did here, it would be clear up here and I wouldn't have much to glue to here. All right, so we also need to glue the back of this. So these are the loose tabs that the loose ends that we're gluing. And we'll close that down. All right, so now we have this little piece. All right, I'm going to put that aside. We're going to do all of our stamping next. And let's grab this, and we're going to just stamp this large piece across here. Actually, I'm trying to think if that's what I did. I think I stamped this one. Let's do this one. I designed these weeks ahead, and then when it goes time to record them, I'm like, how did I do that? But I always like to do this before class so that I remember how to do it. So this is not inking great because it's our new color and a fairly new stamp. So I'm just going to rub over a little bit and tap again. And now the color is staying a little bit better. You can leave it full strength or you can stamp it off if you want. Depends what you want to do there. And let's see. Let's go ahead and do the front of this. That's what I did with this big solid piece. And I think I'm going to just stamp that off. And I'm only going to do it once. I did it twice on here. You can do it however many you want. All right, then that takes care of the front. Let's go ahead and stamp our happy birthday on our tag, which is where? Under here. I'm making a mess on this grid paper, but that's what it's for, right? All right, so we got our happy birthday. All right, so we need to do a little bit of sponging. I want to just put a little bit of hydrangea glue. So I'm just gently rubbing across there. Do not go like this and scrub in there. I'm trying to teach people that the ink that's on the top of your brush is what you need, not what's down inside of the brush. So just gently go over. We don't want to fill this brush with ink because trust me, when I have to clean my brushes, it takes me forever to get the color all out because it's all down inside of it. And we just need what's on the edge. We don't need it clear down here. Okay, so we've colored that now so that it's going to coordinate a little bit when we put it on top of here. And let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to use liquid glue for that. Hopefully, I did not test this glue. There we go. Hey, it's working good. I just want to get a little bit up in here so that it lays down nicely. And I do want to get those stitchings at the side sort of lined up so it looks like I did them all at the same time. But you know I didn't, because it wouldn't give me as nice of a stitch look if I did two pieces at once. But you can do that, absolutely. But it definitely gives more definition if you're just doing one piece at a time. All right, we have that done. Oh, I did want to stamp crumb cake. Let me just wipe this off. I wanted to stamp a little bit of crumb cake at the bottom here. I sort of wanted to use a different stamp, but because we're going to have to wash this in class. We get our sand down here at the bottom. And that will lighten up a little bit. It looks terribly dark right now, but it will lighten up a little bit. Okay, next, we're going to stamp our inside. Let me just open it up here so that you can see it and I can see it. We're just going to use the same stamp. And we're going to create a foamy ocean scene along the bottom. And I'm going to stamp this, hoping your day is perfect, right here. Like so. And then we have this little thing of starfish. We're going to stamp them here. And then one more thing, we have little sand stamp. I'm going to stamp some sand in here, like so. All right, now the inside is finished, and excuse me, I failed to put this in before we put the, whoops, I knew this one was running out. I'm going to see if I can not waste what's on there yet. Just a little bit coming out yet. There we go. Now it needs change. But I need to pick this back up because it has to go on this piece. So let's see if I can pull this off very carefully. Get a little twist to the side. Okay, now try this again. This is going to go in here first. I am going to, by the magic of television, I already refilled that. I'm going to just add a little more adhesive here just to refresh that since it did get taken off and used. And then we'll close this back again like I did before. And now it will be on the right paper, okay? All right, now we're ready to put this in place. So we are going to put glue just on what is showing here on our little pop-up. Hold on, my glue's misbehaving. In case you've never seen, I buy these mini glue bottles to put our green glue in because then I can just put little amounts on. But I don't love this. I love the size, but on this side, this little center thing wants to come off when I open it. So it's a little annoying, but I guess not annoying enough to not use it because I'm still using it. All right, now we're ready to decorate the front. You see how easy that is? Pops right on there. I think because this is down so low, I'm going to end up putting my saying up here. So because when you cut these pieces, you get all of these. So there's lots of pieces in this one die. Let me show you that die. It's this one right here. Okay, so you get a lot of pieces. So I think in this case, instead of putting them all down below, I'm going to put some up here with my greeting, and then I'll put some down below as well. So that way you'll know if you get this class for free or you come to class When you place a $45 order at class or a $50 order online, you get this class for free. And I mail it for free if that's why the order is a little higher, because I have to package it and mail it. But anyways, that way you'll know what to do. And hopefully, I know this video is coming after our free shipping, but I've emailed and posted, and I'm hoping that you guys already got your order in during free shipping, so that you'll be getting this class for free, which is a nice little perk as well, right? We're just going to put these randomly here. I want it to overlap my circle just a little bit so that it looks cool. When it's open, it looks a little, but I think I need a little more adhesive on there. The thing with green glue is it's called Tombow multi-purpose glue, but I call it green glue because it's in a green bottle. Let's see, I want one of these up here, I think. I'll put it over here with this. It takes a second to adhere as opposed to the, the dry, what is that called? Dry adhesive, the Seal Plus, the dispenser adhesive. It wants to stick to my finger instead of sticking to the card, but I am determined. And I'm going to put one of these on the inside because I think I have enough out here. So I'm going to just pop it right there on my waves. All right, so there we go. We're almost finished. We just need some cute gems that look like little pearls. And they are called the 2628 in color pearls. And they're so beautiful. And hopefully I have enough of these for the whole class. I have an extra pack here. But we're going to use a large and a small, just to add a little bit of interest to the card. So I hope that you enjoyed that fold. It's effective, but it's very simple to do. And on to the next one. Okay, our next card is with this beautiful Lily of the Valley stamp set. And I'm using the embossing folder on a diagonal so that it just gives it a really fun look. We used this set last month, and if you got that tutorial, you'll see something like this. I definitely got this little idea for our white gel pen. And so far, I'm loving this white gel pen. I know gel pens can be very finicky, but it's been good. These are the dies that come with this set. I can't find my stamp set right this second, but I did have this piece with the dies that came out of it. So we are going to, it's just a little bit of stamping, not much coloring, a very quick card. I usually don't like to emboss a piece and put it on the same color, but it's too difficult to emboss the front of a card and have it be nice and sturdy. So we are using this color on color technique, but sometimes that is just more effective to get that embossed look that you want. Okay, so there we go. Now we are going to stamp the two leaves. I cut one in Granny Apple and one in Shaded Spruce, and we're just going to pop them in here. I have this set up already, and we're going to stamp both of them in Shaded Spruce so we don't have to switch colors. Makes it really easy, and they both look really amazing. I think that scooted a little bit on me, but... And then we're going to do the Granny Apple Green, stamped in Shaded Spruce. Let's go ahead and look how pretty that looks. Let's go ahead and stamp our greeting, which is from the set, and says happy birthday. And I made it a little extra long so that we could punch the ends with this punch. Just going to slide it in there and try to make sure it's in the center. And you can always look on the back if you're not sure. I'm going to do both, and then we'll see if I want to take any more off. I think that looks pretty good. So this was 4 1/4 inches, I believe I did before we punched that. All right, so now we're just ready to put our flowers together. So I cut, these can get all tangled up. I cut 2 in shaded spruce and 2 in white. And what I'm gonna do is, just gonna take my glue and just put glue on the white pieces. I'll show you there's a method to my madness. And then we're going to just overlay this on here. Trying to make sure they cover the green. And then, once that's dry, let's go ahead and do both of them so that they have a chance to dry. That might be just a little much glue. You really don't want a lot because we want to only glue the flowers. Hopefully you you enjoy my classes either in person or by mail. I have 3 locations in person. One at my house in Littlestown, in my stamp room. One is in Maryland, in Mount Airy, at a friend's house who hosts for us all the time, and she's just the sweetest, Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia, because I know you watch this. And then one at my sister's house. It's my mom's house, too. And she has a great big room that we can use to stamp in. So, and that's in Chambersburg. So I try to do it in different locations to suit different people at different times. The one at my home is usually in the morning. Now I'm just going to come along here and snip off just the stem of the white. So I'm getting in between here and just snipping off the white part, or the stem of the white part. So the only thing that remains is my green stem. Make sure you have your glasses on when you do this. It's the green stem and the white flowers. This is just so much easier than trying to cut all the little pieces of white and stick them on. You saw how easy they lined up. The only one that's difficult is this next one right here, because it's sort of patterned into the stem. So we're just gonna, and I see there's a little bit of green that needs popped out there. And then we also have to cut the bottom of that off because it's attached. Just got to get under here now. Trying not to cut my green piece. One more and we are home free. All right, there we go. How cool is that? It's easier than coloring, I think. All right. And through the magic of television, we've got 2 of those. We've got all of our pieces. We're ready to put these together. So let's get some adhesive on here. We'll put some on this one. And I'm using this glue because I want to be able to tuck these down inside of here. So I'm going to put a little green glue on here. And just sort of lift this up a little bit, tuck that down in there. and hold those down for a second till that glue adheres a little bit, or adheres to me, whichever comes first. Okay, too much glue on my fingers. And this one, I'm actually going to snip this off so that I don't have to worry about tucking as much. And I don't think I even need to worry about glue, because then I won't get glue everywhere on the stem itself. And then I can just tuck this down in here a little bit. Let me lift that up. I have to make sure that it gets down below the card, like so. I don't really want them all hidden under there, but I guess that's how it's going to go. All right, then we have our tag, and we're just going to put a little, we're going to do a faux bow. I'm just rolling it back and forth till it looks something like that. Squish it in the center, and then you can put a little adhesive here and just pop that in place. And then we're going to put dimensionals on our tag. We'll do 3 on here. It's pretty long. And then we'll just cross that over there, and then you won't even see the center of that ribbon. There we go. And then we're going to not forget to add our gel. I'm hoping, I'm going to just zoom this in again so that you can see you can see my little speckles on there. Now we know we can speckle with our white craft refill. We can use a brush and speckle with that. This is definitely a little more controlled speckling, so that makes it a little bit easier. It's not easier necessarily, but at least it's right where I want it to be. And I can make the circles as big as I want, or just little dots. So we'll do a combination of all of those. I do like a few bigger splotches along with the little ones. So you can do as many as you want, as few as you want. Just make it quick and easy. There we go. How cool is that? And you do have to let that dry just a little bit. But isn't that beautiful? Just makes a lovely effect. All right, and we do have some gems, like I said. Well, no, I didn't say. These are shimmering dots. And we have used these before, but I forget what we used them for. I think we might have used them last month in class. Because my putty needs to be readjusted here. Sometimes you just have to rework that little lump rather than replace it. And why am I getting blue when I wanted green? I think I accidentally caught that. You could use blue too. I mean, it is the same color. It would look pretty. But I was trying to get this little piece here. There we go. How pretty is that? Thank you, Shannon, for that idea. Love it. Okay, our final card is this pastel one using our Scallop Wishes bundle. Love, love, love the dies in here. I just couldn't not have these dies and the cute little dragonfly. We're not using that today, but we did use this last month. So if you missed that class, you can go back and view the class for May, and we used the set in May. I'm also using the white velvet paper, and the stamp set. I think I had that here for another one. The flower does come from a different set, and I don't have that one in here. And that's where this die comes from, as well as the little tag die. All right, I am using our new Peaceful Pine cardstock, which is so beautiful. We're using the coordinating ribbon, and we're also using the paper from the Velvet Tea paper that is in the going to do first is I cut these pieces to go in here. It looks like I got ink on something. And we're going to lay those down there. Let's go ahead and adhere those. So this one is 2 3/4 by 4, and the top one is 2 1/2 by 4. And I am leaving like an 1/8 inch border there. Now, if you're using green glue, just be careful because we do need to tuck. We need to tuck something in here. All right, now I cut this piece from, I will put that up here too because I can't remember what that is. And I am just getting this ready for class, for Wednesday class, which as I'm preparing this is tonight. And so rushing just a little bit. I like to get my videos done first so that I can make sure I have everything with me. So I cut just an end. It's that medallion piece. And I just cut the ends because I just wanted the little scallop there. So we're going to just put some adhesive there. We're going to tuck that down in here so that all you're seeing is that little scallop. Hopefully that's visible. Okay. Now, the inside's going to get covered. We're going to pop one of these on here. And it looks very white compared to this gray, but it'll look okay once we get all the colors on there. So let's go ahead and just adhere this piece in the center. And good luck getting that straight because ovals sometimes frustrate me. Hopefully that's straight. And then this little gorgeous piece is going to go on top of that. And I'm just putting glue where I have larger sections without holes. Like that. And we'll center that in here. Try to get a nice even border the whole way around. And it's scooting on me. Okay, hold that in place for a few seconds. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my leaf on. You might have a velvet leaf or you might have a paper leaf. This one is a paper leaf. And they look very similar, they just feel different. So I'm just popping this here underneath where I'm going to put my flower. All right, let's do the flower next. We're going to stamp that. And because I did not set it up on the stamp position or Stamparatus, so just so I can see it, the edges better, I'm going to put it on something colored. So my silicone mat will be good for that. And I apologize if my head gets in the way. Not perfect, but it's gonna do. And then I'm using my Cloud Cover Light blend to just add some color to this. You can color it fully, or you can just do some shading with it, whichever you prefer. I should have done this one shaded so that you could see and compare the two. But since I colored that one almost completely, it will be hard. But if you like this look, you can do that. Okay. I'll go ahead and finish coloring this in since I colored the other one in. I'm very disappointed in my stamping, but I was so afraid I'd get my head in the way. So I didn't get directly over it. You've got to, when you stamp these on your, on paper that's already die cut, you got to make sure you get your head right over top of it so that you don't miss. Because you're sort of looking through glass, and you know how that is, like in a fish tank. Does not work very well. All right, and I might just so this doesn't look extremely awkward, I'll just trim off some of this bottom piece so that it all looks like it's close. And I just pop that on there. And then we're going to add a matching ribbon. So I just put a length out here. I'm going to try, I think I only have this one roll, so I'm going to try to make it last for the whole class, which is going to be very tricky. But if I tie it on the ribbon, then I'm not wasting, or on the roll, then I'm not wasting ribbon as I go. So we're going to use a glue dot. 2. Okay, where's my glue dot end? A glue dot or 2. 2 is better than 1. And we're just gonna, actually, I want to hold that a second. Hold that thought. I want to stamp my greeting here. So we're going to do that in Peaceful Pine. And I have this little die cut from the same stamp set as the flower and leaf and scallop come from. And again, that I posted. So I'm going to put this about in the center because I'm just going to take the end of it. And you can just use a scrap if you don't want to die cut a piece for sure. I'm just going to do a little snip here. Snip down the center and then in from each corner, and that will get you usually something that looks fairly even. And we're just going to add some green glue to this. And I might just snip the end off so that I can tuck that in as far as I want it to be. And I just did it sort of like it was hanging here. And I want to pull it out far enough so that when I stick my bow on here, I see glue dots sticking out there, so we don't want that. When I stick my bow on there, it will not hide my words. And then, because I'm not using the dragonfly that comes in this bundle, I decided to use the cute butterfly 2628 in color butterflies. So I'll just pull them out here. We are going to use, there are large and small, so I'm going to use one large and one small butterfly to accent our berry. It's sort of monochromatic because it's a bluish green hint, so it's lighter and darker shades of the same basic color. So I hope that you enjoy that, and I hope that you got inspired by all of the projects that we did this month. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to holler. Again, if your order is over $50 online this month, you will get this packet of projects in the mail. All right, thank you. Take care. God bless.